Detective Comics 961, James Tynion IV and Alvaro Martinez on art. So, this is obviously the next part of this whole Ascalon arc. Meanwhile, of course, Batman and Zatanna are still doing their thing. I do think, I'll start this by saying, I think this is my favourite issue of the arc so far. I feel like it's been getting better as it goes.
Yeah, I like the Zatanna stuff with their past,
Yeah,
and they're
that's
like
good.
15, getting into trouble like because they're acting like 15-year-olds, like
Yeah,
everything's plausible
yeah, and then
there. And
this issue you have Zatara himself like showing up and being
yeah,
pissed that Zatanna is showing off all the magic tricks to her boyfriend,
yeah.
and then
It's like you don't tell him everything, like, you know, keep some things close. It's like the magician's code. So I like that they worked that in to their
and
relationship.
it's also the first time that he has his mind wiped, which obviously Raz does later on, and we see a little glimpse of Raz walking past as he
Yeah,
as
which
he's
I want to know what Zatara and Roz are up with, like, because we know there's a little bit of metal being played with here, right? So I'm wondering if Zatan or Zatara is one of the immortals that we saw,
very
in the
possibly,
hooded,
yeah.
of that. So, but that whole scene with them upside down and Zatara just walking in and fixing everything just with the magical words, it was pretty great.
Yeah, and then the other reason why I love this issue is obviously we ended in the cliffhanger last week that Azrael was kind of taking over, and we
Hmm.
get this stuff inside his head where he's kind of fighting him with Ascalon inside himself, trying to like gain control of his body back.
Hmm.
But in the main world, he shows up and he's fighting Batwoman, and Batwoman's like, "Yeah, I can't take you alone." But then Cassandra Cain shows up, and it's
Hmm.
basically Batwoman and Orphan on a 2-on-1 fight with him, and it is badass as hell. I love this.
And she's quoting Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, no, that comes at the end. It's after she finally puts him down. She says a full
Hmm.
sentence, and Batwoman's like, "Was that a full sentence?" I've been learning, and it's the smile on her face. The smile on her face
Yeah.
as she said she'd been learning Shakespeare was touching. And then there was some fun jokes with Batwoman, which I did actually do some research into this to see what she was talking about.
Hmm.
Did you finish the New 52 Batwoman series?
No.
Yeah, now did I. So this, I mean, I thought this vampire joke that sort of happened a couple of times here
Oh.
was amusing. She sort of says, "I hate if because when Zatanna and Batman show up to help,
Hmm.
um, and they're like, oh, we were at a cell range doing stuff, and she's like, if that's not a euphemism and you were all fighting vampires, I'll be pissed. I hate
Right.
vampires." And the next bit, Zatanna tries to help. She's like, "You're a vampire?" It's like, "No, I dated one though." It's like, "Yeah, me too." Apparently, yeah, there was a really bad arc. From what I understand, it just from what I've heard, one of the final arcs of the New 52 run, she was in like kind of enchanted by a vampire and then made a sex slave against her will for a while. It sounded really bad, but this joking was all about making fun of that. So
See, there's a way to do that in how she's enchanted with the the island in her solo series. Like, there's a way to do that, but then you cross the line and make her a sex slave. It's like, guys, that's not good for anybody.
again, I read the cliff notes
Yeah.
of this, like
Well, and
so.
you wonder why we had a rebirth. Like, it's stuff like that. What and like I'm glad that we were able to fill that out, but like I just went, oh, okay, well they're making magic jokes. Maybe there's
Yeah,
Tynion is writing a history he can touch on later. That's how I
honestly,
took it.
honestly, before I went and found out, I actually thought it worked on its own, just as a sort of fun like.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a history thing, like I mean, maybe it's a history thing. And, okay, maybe she's scared of vampires from vampire movies or something like that. But
Right.
I thought it was just a fun joke on its own. But there is actually some connective tissue to an old thing that is kind of making fun of because it was bad. So that's fair.
That's good. Make fun of the bad. That's fine.
Yeah, that's right. So
Can I admit something real quick that I don't quite understand how Ascalon works in Jean Paul? Like, I
um,
get that it's programming and he was engineered, but
I don't know.
it's one of those weird things, right? Because he's interfacing with it like it's a program. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm just going to take it and keep
As
moving.
I understand it, he's programmed to work with an AI, and the AI is programmed to obviously work with him.
Right.
Which is why we get to the end, and like Batwing has this idea to like basically he's been trying to tinker with it to sort of like free Azrael of the the grasp of the sort of
This order,
yeah,
the
the
Order
order,
of Saint Dumas.
and he's been trying to do it, and basically everything he tried, it didn't work because Azrael's just like he has to connect to essentially a religion, and I don't know if you hate this idea. I feel like you might hate this idea.
I don't. I
Oh,
actually
good,
don't, because
excellent.
it makes sense.
So basically, he gets it's this stupid bat suit from that Snyder story that I hated with
Rookie.
Gordon in the suit,
Yeah.
right? But he's found a use for it, so I'll give Tynion that. He's found a use for that stupid suit.
Well, and I like him as a supporting character with Lucas Fox. Like he's like a droid in Star Wars. You know, he doesn't talk back, but he has character. You know, because when all these AI are attacking, right? Because Ascalon's taking control of his Batwing suits, like, you know, and
Yeah,
but
it's basically if like a virus get
like
into
when,
Iron Man's lair and all of his suits start being an army for the bad guy.
like in Age of Ultron, like, you know, like Ascalon's kind of religious Ultron. Like that's how I've been reading
Kinda,
this.
yeah, kinda, yeah.
Right? So, but for whatever reason, it doesn't infect Rookie, the super heavy suit. And so Luke looks into it and it's like, well, what did Powers program you with? You know, that was that powerful to override this AI. And so he takes it apart and is able to fashion something new, which I did pop for.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty cool.
So basically, he describes it as he had to build a new religion into the code. That's how the coding works with the suit. So you had to build this suit with its own sort of religion, and the religion is based on the teachings of one man. And of course, as soon as he said that, I kind of smiled a bit. I knew where this is going. And then it's like, it kind of Batman says, "Who exactly are we talking about here?" And then it cuts to that final splash page of the bat, suit from. It's basically the new version of his.
It's his
from,
new, his Nightfall suit.
Yeah, the Nightfall suit, the Night Quest stuff. And so I'll give you one guess. It's got a giant bat logo on it. I wonder who it is.
I enjoy that for the fact that it's not coming from Batman. Like if Batman was like, yeah, these are my teachings, but that it's coming from someone else, and Batman is the Cape Crusader. Like that's his nickname, one of them, and he is on this almost religious mission to take back Gotham from the unsavory. So it fits in with the logic, and it's not a because Batman type reason. Like it fits in with all the characters going forward, and for Luke Fox to look at that because his family's so tied in to Bruce Wayne, I'm glad it came from him.
Yeah, no, I'm digging the idea, and it gives him like a suit that he can use going forward that gets him away from this plot of Ascalon. We can wrap that up and we can do new things once we've wrapped up the arc. So that's pretty cool. So no, my favorite stuff in this issue was definitely Cass and Kate though, teaming up and taking on. Especially since they're getting the shit kicked out of them, especially Kate, like her shoulders all ripped and she's bleeding, and like it feels like a proper fight. It feels like they're really.
Well,
struggling.
yeah, she's all woozy. She's lost quite a bit of blood in the issue. So when Zatanna shows up and helps patch her up, that was another great. I always like Zatanna as a supporting character for the Bat family, just because she's kind of the complete opposite. Whereas when you put her with Superman, he's the guy that can fly and hard science fiction side of things, so it works there too. But you throw her with the grounded kind of stuff, and it amplifies what she can do more.
So all that stuff was good fun. We should also mention that the rest of the bots, all of Luke's suits, they've been taken over, as you said, and they are all at the Belfry, where Clayface is currently guarding what's his face, Nomaz, is that his name?
Nomaz.
Yeah. So we end the issue with not only the reveal of the suit, but Batman's like, we have to get to the Belfry now. Like, stuff's going down. We have to get there. And poor Clayface is there to fend him off on his own.
And the look is like, okay, this is gonna be work, because we know he can split himself, but now he has to do an escort mission basically.
Yeah.
And keep Nomaz alive. Yeah.
So no, I thought this was good stuff. I think the arc was never not enjoyable, but it's definitely not been as exciting as some of the previous ones. But as it's went on, it's it's gained some footing. It's finding its strengths, and the book's strength's always been in the Bat film interacting with each other, and I think
Yep.
the 2-on-1 fight was my favorite part of the issue, but it was all pretty good. I have little to no complaints. Art was good. I think Martinez has been doing pretty good work in the art. As we said in the last issue, anything in the rain was looking gorgeous.